and he's 6'4". He fights with missiles and with spears. He's all of 31 and he's only 17. He's been a soldier for 1,000 years. He's a Catholic, a Hindu, an atheist, a Jain.
Hi, my name's Marcia Westbrook. I'm from Williamstown, West Virginia, population 2,800. I live on the Ohio River, right across from Marietta, Ohio, in the Mid-Ohio Valley. Our economy tanked years ago. I'm a nurse and lost my first job in 1999 due to the economy, so that tells a lot about the area there. I had 3 sons, and in 1998, my oldest son joined the Air Force, and I nearly died. I did not want him to do that. He had graduated from high school, he was floundering in college, and he had listened to a lot of the old guys say that every young man needs to do a hitch, you know, to grow up. So he did. He's still in the Air Force, in the Air Force Reserve. That was my first son. That was 1998. When 9/11 happened in 2001, I had one in. There was 9/11, and he got deployed at 9:30 to parts unknown. I didn't know where he was going. He's a mechanic in the Air Force. So that starts my family in this war. Before this is all over, I've had all 3 of my sons in the military, with last August 28th, my youngest son, an active duty Green Beret, committing suicide in his home in front of his wife. I carry this is my son's obituary. There's 4 paragraphs. There are 2 about him and 2 about all this military stuff. He was, I can't say highly decorated, but he was extremely highly accomplished for his 8 years. He was an E6. Sergeant First Class Tyler Milam Westbrook, 31, assigned to the 2nd Battalion, 10th Special Forces Group Airborne, Fort Carson, Colorado, passed away August 28, 2015. He was born on May 12, 1984, in Marietta, Ohio, to Daniel Robert and Marcia Milam Westbrook. Tyler was a 2002 graduate of Williamstown High School, graduating with honors, and was a Promise Scholarship recipient. He was a standout in sports at Williamstown. He began wrestling at 4 years old and continued all through his senior year, accumulating a career record of 116 and 27. He placed several times in the state, being a state champion at the 152-pound division. While playing football, he served as team captain, made All-LKC defensive back, and set a national record in 2001 with 4 block punts in consecutive games. The record still holds. Tyler was a member of the 2001-2002 track teams, competing in pole vault, long jump, and relays. He received his bachelor's degree in sports management from West Virginia University in 2006. Graduating magna cum laude, Tyler was an avid WVU fan. He's survived by his wife, Heather, Tyler Westbrook. My daughter-in-law's maiden name was Tyler, so she will never lose her Tyler, okay? And son Milam Grant Westbrook of Colorado Springs, Colorado. His parents of Williamstown, and his brothers Waylon and his wife April, and William, parental grandmother Norma Westbrook, all of Williamstown, mother-in-law Mary Reed, and husband Benjamin, and father-in-law Ronald Tyler of Clarksville, Tennessee. He has one aunt, Rhonda Neese, and her husband Richard of Albuquerque, and nephews and niece Brendan Bryant Bailey and of Williamstown, and cousins Lindsay and Cole, and sister-in-law Dana Tyler of Clarksville, Tennessee. Tyler was preceded in death by his paternal grandfather, Raul Westbrook, maternal grandparents, Louis and Elaine Milam, all of Williamstown. I have been involved with veterans my entire life. My father was in the Sea Beast in World War II. He was in the South Pacific. He was in oil production, so he was called up into the last part of the war. I'm adopted. I was raised by a man that had PTSD before it had a name. Until the day my father died, you did not touch him while he was asleep, or you probably would have been on the other side of the room. There were certain things you never mentioned, at the dinner table. And we had all sorts of these quirky little rules, when I was growing up, that I just thought everybody had these rules, but they didn't. When I started going to other people's houses, it was different. So my parents were gone. My late father-in-law was, he was in the invasion on D-Day and survived that. And he got a bronze medal for valor for continuing to take ammunition to a machine gun post. My father and my father-in-law were both alcoholics. I'm adopted. I have no clue what my genetic, pattern brings into this family. But my sons are fifth-generation Westbrooks that I know of that are alcoholics. So it's very prominent in that family. And I explained this to them when they were very young. This is like diabetes running in a family. It's a disease. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It means that you have this, this possibility here. So, anyway, going down the line, my son graduated from college and couldn't find a job in 2 years. He had student loans that were coming due. He had also developed psoriasis really bad his freshman year in college, which psoriasis is not just a skin condition, it's an autoimmune disease where you create too much skin too fast. And he begged his way into the Army, the only branch of the military that would talk to him. He begged his way into the Army by getting congressmen and, people to write letters for him and stuff. And they let him in on a medical waiver. They cannot vaccinate him against smallpox, but they'd treat him for smallpox if he got it. So getting in on a medical waiver, he already had a bachelor's degree. You have to be in 3 years when you get in that way before you can never apply for an officer's training program. He went to artillery school, then he went to jump school, and he went to Iraq. He was out of jump school 1 month when he went to Iraq with the 82nd. He came back from that, and he was extremely bored at Fort Bragg because they outsourced all the gate guards and everything are outsourced. So they just had guys that they didn't have anything to do, so they made him just stand in formation in the rain or pick up cigarette butts and that kind of stuff. So he thought that he would try out for the selection group for the Special Forces. He was in the top 4 of that selection group for Special Forces, and he hadn't been in the Army very long at all. So he went to the training, and he was the honored graduate, Bravo. There was a captain that went across the stage, and then my son, who should have been a medical component in this team because of his grades, his intelligence and stuff, but he said, my mom's been a nurse forever, and he said, I don't want to do that. He said, because I probably would hit some doctor someday. But, so anyway, he ended up a weapons specialist. And after that, his deployments were 4 months here, 4 months there, here, there, and everywhere, and no, I can't tell you where I'm going. And one time, he left a base in Germany and snuck on to a base in Djibouti, Africa, to re-enlist because he could get a better bonus re-enlisting there. Him and another guy, they did this all on their own and got there, on their own. So I guess he was pretty good at what he did. So he got married. He met a young lady in North Carolina when he was at Bragg, and we were connected because her mother and my daughter-in-law, my oldest son's wife, he was at Pope Airfield at Bragg. So we're all connected there, not just that he married this girl from there, but we know the family and everything too. So he invited her out to Colorado when he left. When he got stationed out in Colorado, he invited her on a Friday evening. She flew in. He sent her a ticket, flew in. He proposed to her with a diamond ring at the airport, got down on one knee, and proposed to her, and had a total wedding planned. And they had the most beautiful wedding in Garden of the Gods, Colorado. She had a beautiful gown. She wore red satin slippers, and it was just lovely. None of us were there. Their friends stood up with them, but it was just all theirs in the way they wanted it. And, he did all that. So, then they were he started drinking. I mean, not that he didn't drink. He drank at college. I mean, Budweiser was one of his favorite things while he was at WVU, tailgating. I mean, it was quite West Virginia. If you've ever seen anything on ESPN about us, we do support our team. So he started drinking really heavy then, and but not beer, just beer. Then after these deployments, he started getting into Jack Daniels, really, really bad. He was consuming extremely large amounts of this. It was causing him problems at work that he wasn't allowed, when he was on one team, he wasn't allowed to drink at any team functions or outside the country because they couldn't control him. Team leader on that team got kind of tired of his behavior, so he switched to another team. Yes, Friday before I came here, I got the report from, this is my report here. This is, what is it called? Duty, something to duty. Line of duty report. On there, nobody saw a drinking problem. Nobody saw anything. The weekend before he killed himself, they had to pull him off of another team member at a wedding because they got into it. He came home on July 1st for 20 hours. He was in town. In that 20 hours, my dog nipped his son, and he executed my dog. When he went back to Colorado and reported in to his sergeant, he said, oh, by the way, while I was in West Virginia, I killed my mom's dog. My daughter-in-law heard him report that in. There is nothing in this report that says anywhere along the line anybody noticed any problems at all. I knew from July 1st my life would never be the same. I totally started mourning my son then. I knew I'd lost him. You know, we don't kill dogs. We've always had pets. And I got no help from anybody. I mean, his wife was fearful. I pulled her off to the side and made sure that she had an escape plan, you know, a place to go, a shelter, something. I told her, I said, he's my son, he's my baby, and I love him dearly, but I'm really fearful for your safety and my grandson's safety. So I'm just here. This was just last fall, and this is where I'm at now. And I'm really upset with the culture of the military. I'm already was anti-war, and I have 3 kids go in because of the economics in West Virginia. And then I have my youngest son, you know, all this stuff that was being done was highly encouraged. They're encouraged to live rough, on the edge, be the toughest, be over the edge. They were using anabolic steroids. This was common knowledge. That didn't help with temper and the alcohol. And for the first time he mentioned suicide, he did it. And my pictures are right here. And this is my daughter-in-law, Heather, and my grandson, Milam. That picture is 6 weeks after he committed suicide. They already had Milam's 3rd birthday party planned. And my other son, Will, who is Milam's godfather, flew to Colorado and wore the Superman outfit. But I told my daughter-in-law that I was going to bring the Wonder Woman picture of her because she is Wonder Woman. That's all.
Por eso es que cuando canto, canto lo que el pueblo siente. Soy del pueblo, pueblo soy, y a donde me lleve el pueblo voy.
Como cantar es mi oficio,
Yo canto el esfuerzo duro de construir el futuro con alegre sacrificio. Soy del pueblo, pueblo soy, y a donde me lleve el pueblo voy.
por el pueblo voy pasando, y oyendo su sentimiento,
Lo recojo y al momento se lo devuelvo cantando. Soy del pueblo, pueblo soy, y a donde me lleve el pueblo